Hi guys, welcome to Counterpoints. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down a brand new Traitor Guard cinematic. There's actually quite a few cool details in here, so I'm happy to be breaking it down for you today. This episode is brought to you by Hawkins & Company. Everything today is soulless and mass-produced, but not the wallets from Hawkins & Company. They're hand-stitched in the United States from some of the finest locally produced leather and come in a variety of styles and configurations. I carry the bifold wallet daily, but they also have trucker and biker-style wallets available. Use code COUNTERPOINTS at checkout and get 15% off your order. Get a wallet that's manly, rugged, and refined, all at the same time, today.
The Moebian 6th Infantry Regiment were ordered to Nox Alpha, a death world in the outer Moebian fringe, to quell an unknown uprising plaguing the planet. 50,000 of the Emperor's finest men and women. We had no idea what we were up against.
Captain, are these dogs ready to die?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's worse, the enemy or that carking commissar.
I guess we'll find out soon enough. Now quiet down.
The Fall of the Moebian 6 is a story of two characters with two parallel but different missions. These are Captain Wolfer and Commissar Magson. Captain Wolfer is a veteran, a soldier, and a warrior who leads on the front lines even when his rank would allow him to safely take up a position in the rear. The captain's mission is to lead his men in battle, pursue victory, and save as many lives as possible. His ominous shadow is Commissar Magson. Commissars are selected from the Imperium's war orphanage, the Schola Progenium. Students who are skilled in weapons, martial arts, and oratory are selected as commissars with a particular emphasis on harsh discipline. Commissars are trained to weed out the weak and heretical and to purge both from the ranks of the Imperial Guard with extreme prejudice. Commissar Magson seems to take on his mission with a sadistic glee, cruel by even Imperial Guard standards. The Moebian system is on the border of the Segmentum Solar and the Segmentum Obscurus, rich in food, industry, and population. Where many guard regiments are deployed far across the galaxy, the Moebians are allowed to fight on their own system border as there are enough alien and heretical enemies to deal with. This forever war sees varied threats, and so the Moebian domain is on a constant war footing. To keep the population motivated for the conflict, but not so terrified of their precarious position as to be paralyzed, the collective threat of alien and traitor forces is referred to as the Dark Tide. It is only spoken about in the vaguest of terms amongst the civilian population. Nox Alpha is a death world. 50,000 men and women of the Moebian 6th are deployed there alongside other regiments to stomp out rebels, but there's something foul about the planet. A portion of the planet, known as the Tenebris, is perpetually cast in shadow, with visibility only possible through technological enhancements or flares. The Grundrak forests are filled with trees weeping foul-smelling pus, and the brush is so dense, psychers are needed to guide patrols through. The Hellas region is filled with red mist, reducing visibility down to only a few meters, a nightmare environment to fight in. The air and soil seem to be diseased with trench foot, leading to amputations and prolonged exposure to the air without rebreathing equipment, leading to lunger's rot. A horrible cough that seems to open the body up to even worse infection and gruesome death. Despite these hardships, the Moebians have proudly fought the Dark Tide for centuries. Captain Wolfer can be seen leading his men across a no-man's land, with his men joking that their commissar is arguably worse than the enemy. Rebel flares go up, leading to an ambush and artillery bombardment. Captain Wolfer blasts away at the rebels as he watches his men get cut down, first by enemy stubber fire, then artillery blasts, and finally by the commissar. In the heat of battle, Commissar Magson turns on his men and executes a Moebian soldier evacuating another wounded guardsman.
Defeat was inevitable. we prepared to sell our lives for the Imperium. But as despair festered, a stranger walked among us.
Heretics! By the throne, you will all pay for this!
We were taught what it meant to be strong, to be blessed. And thus we became the true defenders of humanity. How will your false emperor protect you now?
Nurgle is the god of decay, disease, and despair, and so it seems like Nox Alpha has a connection to the Plague God. Since the Imperium is unwilling to fully brief the Moebian population on the nature of the Darktide, these soldiers fight against the rebels in ignorance, simply believing that they fight and die for their homeworld, which is their duty. These guardsmen feel forgotten. They pine for the fields of the agri-world of Rosaria, or the hives and forges of Branx Magna, or the vast oceans of Incron. They know their families toil away, living simple lives, while they are doomed to cough their lungs out, fall to horrible disease, or be ripped to shreds by the enemy. This despair leads to hesitation amongst the men, and they allow a stranger to approach their lines, promising them truth and deliverance. When Commissar Magson finds the line entranced by the stranger, he promises them a swift death, but he is cut down by Captain Wolfer. The captain is disfigured by the artillery bombardment, sick of throwing his men at an unknown enemy, sick of watching his men die of horrible disease, sick of being left to die on this forsaken planet, and ready to embrace anything promising deliverance from suffering. Grandfather Nurgle is happy to embrace him. Nurgle is the god of decay, disease, and despair, but he offers his followers relief. Those who worship the Grandfather are freed from their pain. They embrace the decay inherent to existence itself. They give gifts of disease to others, allowing them to learn of their Grandfather's love. In the pits of despair, there are two options to mortal souls. They can succumb to the suffering, wither and die, making room for more life, or they can embrace the Grandfather and become one of his treasured grandchildren, immune to pain, and if they serve him well enough, given immortality. Armed with these gifts, armed with the truth of the Plague God, the Moebian Six return to their homeworld of Otoma Prime.
Hear me. We are the Moebian Six, returned and redeemed. Their chains no longer bind us. Their bastions can no longer hold us. Once we were lost, like you, blinded by faith and acceptance. Only when our eyes were opened did we truly see the lies for what they were. We are your sons. We are your daughters. We have come home. It is our solemn pledge to bring about a new and glorious age of freedom and prosperity. Join us and cast off the falsehood of the Empire.
Enough of that heretic filth. Right, listen up. We got a well-trained traitor army on our hands, and this Wolfer fella seems to be at the head of it. The Inquisitor's Wormwood agents have tracked their latest propaganda broadcast, giving us the location of their staging area. Two of Wolfer's lieutenants, the Karnak twins, are leading operations in Abzone HL 7004. The Carnival was never a nice area, but now the heretics are dug in like rats. Word is that some kind of stim is spreading through the streets, making those nasty buggers even nastier. See if you can turn the tide and get us a win on the board, eh? Right. You got your orders. Get out there and bring those heretics to their knees.
Just because the Moebian Six have been enlightened by the god of decay does not mean that they have forgotten their soldiers' discipline. If anything, Nurgle's gift of resilience make them even more potent warriors. The Moebian Six ride in on Valkyries, the dropship of the Aeronautica Imperialis, raining rockets and multi-laser fire into Loyalist defenders. Captain Wolfer promises the people of Atoma Prime that the Moebian Six is returned and redeemed, ready to provide a new era of freedom and prosperity. Those looking at the rotten flesh of Nurgle's followers will believe these to be the delusions of madmen. But to the Chaos followers themselves, they see the glory of their patron god's plan, and are willing to sacrifice themselves to realize it. The Moebian Six takes prisoners, hoping to convert some of their enemies to the cause. In order to help persuade the population of Atoma Prime, the Moebian Six infiltrate the drug network of the Carnival District, infecting stim drugs with a touch of the Grandfather's blessing. Not only does this give their warriors a boost in battle, it infects and converts loyalist citizens and regiments over to their cause through disease. Corruption runs rampant in the Underhive, and the inquisitorial strike force sent to destroy the Moebian Six and the Cult of Admonition is not up to the task. As a result, Commissar Duquesne of the Moebian 53rd and the Adeptus Arbitus deploy alongside the Inquisition in order to squash the rebellion and restore order. In case you haven't realized it yet, the traitor regiment we watched fall and attack a hive city are none other than the forces you face in the video game Darktide, where you can play as a guardsman veteran, an ecclesiarchal priest, a sanctioned psyker, a brutish ogryn, or now an Adeptus Arbitus. If you want to support the channel, please remember to like the video, share it with your friends, ring the bell for new videos, and comment for the comment gods. Your viewership helps me in the algorithm and is appreciated. If you want to take your support a bit further, please become a YouTube member or support us at patreon.com/counterpoints. Check out the other videos on the channel, support our sponsors, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until the end.